Welcome to the first ever Marhaba Crypto Show. My name is Ahmed. My guest here with me is Moby Siddiq. How are you doing, Moby?
Good, Ahmed. I'm doing very, very well. And man, it just goes to show what a couple of days in the market can do, right? Like we were supposed to
Yeah,
record this 2 days ago, and I'm kind of glad we didn't because it's a very different market. I don't know
today.
about you. How are your wallets looking? Healthy? Better?
Today, a
Today?
lot better. Let's just say, yeah, a lot better today than it was a few days ago. And to be honest, looking at it from a traditional lens of market analysis, I thought it was going to go down just a little bit more before it went back up, and it kind of proved me wrong, which is okay. I'm happy to be proven wrong in situations like this. But yeah, enjoying the uptrend.
Yeah, maybe things happen for a reason. It's good to sort of start our first show on a high. So inshallah, let's see how things go. We've got a really big show for you guys today. We're going to be doing a market update, which I'll take you guys through. Ahmed's going to take you guys through a bit of a Marhaba DeFi update. So what's the latest happening in the project, and we'll be doing our first community question of the week. And I will say,
Hmm.
by the way, guys, in the show notes, I guess in the comments or description below, we'll link to the Telegram. So that community now is over 1,000 strong. So please join that group, like, subscribe, do all those lovely things. But I guess before we get into a little bit of an update on Marhaba DeFi, because it is the first show, Ahmed, maybe let's talk about what Marhaba DeFi actually is, and then
Hmm.
kick it for an update from there.
For sure. All right. So Marhaba DeFi or Marhaba platform is the project that's being worked on as a Islamic based or even a faith based platform for individuals who are trying to get into the crypto world but can't because they don't have the knowledge of which crypto is gonna be permissible, which crypto is faith based, which crypto is an ethical crypto, and they don't want to invest in something that may come back to harm them later. So that's what Marhaba tries to focus on. Marhaba it works with all these different things or these segments and tries to give them a huge solution with not only providing which crypto is gonna be halal or faith based. It also starts talking about, hey, as an investor, would you be interested in staking through us? Would you be interested in the lending and borrowing, halal lending and borrowing, which is an interest free lending and borrowing? Are you interested in making other forms of income like passive income through crypto? And Marhaba DeFi or Marhaba platform at large will help you, get a touch of all of those various things that you can do with crypto in one place. And that's why it's such an exciting platform. So that's Marhaba. I think that was a quick introduction. If you do want to learn more, we are going to link everything in the description for sure. Anyways, um, what's going on with Marhaba, where we are. So right now, as Moby just said, we're marketing strong. We got our Telegram group, which is every day there's so many questions, every day there's so much action happening there. You should join. You'll get a chance to learn a lot from there and also to see the updates. But in hindsight, Marhaba DeFi, we're working towards the wallet, the Sahal wallet, and completing it in about a few weeks. From there, we're going to do an internal beta launch within our employees and the teams, and then from there, we're going to probably see if we can bring it out slowly to the market because the whole goal is to bring out a phenomenal project and a phenomenal product for individuals to use. That's something that they're going to use for the long run, right? So we're gonna have to add all the various aspects into the wallet. Just like the Marhaba wallet, the Souk NFT is also being worked on. Souk NFT is gonna come out around the same timing. Right now, we're just working on very specific UX UI, which is the how individuals will see the front facing interface, and the ease of use within the website and the app. So those things are being finalized, and you can see in the upcoming few weeks you guys will start seeing more information on that and really exciting features on there. For example, for the Marhaba wallet, which is the Sahal wallet, I should rather call it. So the Sahal wallet, you'll see that you get a list of tokens that are all permissible to use. For example, these are all being vetted through a very stringent criteria source where our internal team of scholars go through each token to see if they're Sharia compliant. We'll get into details also about Sharia if you guys are interested, but just in essence, are faith-based compliant, and will those are the only ones that are going to be on the wallet. I think it's going to be a big solution for a lot of us, because it takes hours, hours and hours to
That's right.
see if a crypto is permissible or not, because you're gonna have to read the white paper, the team, the utilities of it, and depending on what token it is, it has a different formula, which our internal team members have talked about in the AMA. So that's why, guys, you got to join the Telegram group so you are part of those AMA sessions and you know what's going on. Yeah, I think that's a pretty quick update.
It's
Over to you, Moby.
No, I think it's one of those things, and it's what really attracted me to the project to begin with, because we all go through that journey, right? Ahmed? We're
Yeah,
like, okay, we get into this, we're interested, we might get in from Bitcoin or God forbid Doge or something, and then
yeah,
you hear about this world of DeFi where there's just truckloads of money coming in, and we're like,
yeah,
is it halal or not? So I think that's we've all gone through that, and just having that confidence that what there is a Sharia compliant board. There's multiple people who have actually, they're not toilet seat experts like people sitting down and researching.
yeah,
These guys have
yeah,
studied, right? You
yeah.
can rely on their credentials, in terms of
Mhm.
whether something is halal or not halal. And there'll always be that debate, and I'm sure that's going to come up a lot, over the course of this show. But at least there is a form there. There is some sort of course of action. And just quickly, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you answered this, because the question we get all the time, Ahmed. So right now it's just seed round, investors correct, and it will be open for public later. You want to quickly talk about that?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. The IDO, that's one of the things that everybody wants to know about. Yeah, so right now the focus is on seed and private investors, and within the private investors, there's different forms of private investors. So that's being focused on. We are daily engaging with different investors. There is a method, but there is a minimum that you gotta put down for to be in that round. You can check that out through our website or through the Telegram group, and you can put in your form for that. But if you're a big time VC, also you can send us a direct email, or you can also do the same form, and we'll reach out to you from there. When it comes to the public at large, IDO, and when people can start jumping into different exchanges and purchasing it, that is planned to be around within a month or so. Just we're focusing around about a month, and that's because we want to have everything in place for those tokens, right? You need to have the wallet ready. You need to have everything else ready, and this is the current update. One thing about technology is that, working in the tech sector, uh, the dates are always, you can always put a hindsight date, but you gotta always, because there's many things that are at play, and anything small could trigger it to be extended also. But right now we're going strong with our dates, and I think we're gonna for sure see something. I'm gonna say by the third show or the fourth show, you guys will get a better update, for sure. Yeah, I'll probably try to get you guys exact week, and for that, just let's wait for the second or third. Sorry, yeah, second or third show. Yeah,
Awesome, awesome. So that's great, and I think like we mentioned earlier, obviously join the Telegram group. That's when you're going to get the latest information. Ask plenty of questions. It's a good community. It's a thriving community. But yes, let's kick it into the market update, right? So this has definitely changed a little bit since you and I spoke a couple of days ago, Ahmed. But let's I'll get started with it anyway. So look, you can't talk about the state of the crypto market without talking about the king, and that's Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin moves up 5%, the whole market can rally a whole lot more. The altcoin market can rally a whole lot more. But when the king
yeah.
dips, then the whole market can dip a lot more as well. So I'll just share my screen just to
Hmm.
kind of show you, what's been happening last couple of weeks. So, of course, if you guys can see my screen, Bitcoin was trading at this 31K to 35K range for a couple of weeks. And then what happened is we had this period of 3 or 4 days where the market just sort of dipped, it flatlined, and the rest of the market fell quite low. What
Yeah.
happened? Well, it's very difficult to speculate what happened, but what did actually happen during that time was the grayscale Bitcoin unlock. So, for those of you who don't know, the grayscale Bitcoin unlock, it is an investment product where individual investors can buy and sell Bitcoin essentially in their brokerage accounts. So this is for
Mm-hmm.
traditional equity investors who are investing on stock exchanges and they don't want to get their hands dirty for any sort of compliant reasons. They can invest via the Grayscale or the GBTC. Now, the
Yeah.
thing with the GBTC is you do have to hold it for a while. And last week we had the biggest unlock that took place. And, that's where we sort of had that little, dip for a little while. Now, I really love this little mini case study because it really does show the market and how the market operates. So if you guys can still see my screen, in the days leading up, there was all this FUD, right? Fear, uncertainty, doubt that there's, this whole shock coming to the market. JP
Yeah.
Morgan, had an article around, look, yeah, there is a huge downside risk for the Bitcoin price. Kraken actually got it right. Kraken said, you know what, it could be a positive for the Bitcoin price. So that was interesting. But it just goes to
Mm-hmm.
show how strong the actual market is. Elsewhere, in terms of bullish news for the market, in terms of Bitcoin, what I'm sort of seeing is, when you sort of look at the news at large, there is a lot happening that we don't notice. So this one article here from the Daily Hodl showed that mega whale wallet holders dormant since 2018 added 841 million in Bitcoin over the weekend. So the weekend that had, not this weekend gone by, the weekend before, where we actually had a lull, when things were going down, Ahmed, that's
Yeah.
when whales, since 2018, and remember 2018 was sort of the end of the last bull market, that's when, and they seem to always be ahead of us, right? When they added almost
Yeah.
$1 billion in Bitcoin. So that was interesting.
Yeah. They
Some
were
other
waiting for that
news,
moment.
sorry?
I was saying they were waiting for that exact moment.
Absolutely. They're waiting, right? They know things we don't know. And the best thing we can do is sort of monitor the market, what's sort of happening. Now, one thing you
Yeah.
guys may have noticed is just before this recent surge, right? Literally a day before, and this happened the day that we were going to record, Ahmed. Last time you and I were going to record, where Amazon
Yeah.
said it's exploring cryptocurrency payments, and there's this whole
Mhm.
thing around, and there's the official line and there's the unofficial line. Let me start with the official line, right?
Yeah.
The official line is they recently listed a job posting for digital currency and blockchain product lead to create a vision and roadmap. So, quote unquote, a vision and roadmap for new payment products. We believe the future will be built on new technologies that enable modern, fast, and inexpensive payment, and hope to bring that future to Amazon customers soon. So this is very clearly talking about they're looking for a cryptocurrency lead. They're looking about modern
Yeah.
payment solutions, and they've just
Mhm.
hired this. So that's sort of the official. That's what we know. Now, apparently,
Mhm.
there's other news too that an insider at Amazon said, "Yep, we are definitely looking to accept a number of cryptocurrency payment solutions soon, and possibly even launch our own cryptocurrency." And if there's anything we know about Jeff Bezos, if he says he do it, he probably will. Now, forget the
Yeah.
unofficial. Even if you look at the official line, that is still very bullish for the market. And this, I'm not saying this is what caused the rally, but this happened just before the rally, and I think it's a culmination of a few things. Now,
Mhm.
we can't talk, if Bitcoin is the king, then Ethereum is the queen. And if you're
Mhm.
married, and by the way, I'm not sure I'm supposed to say this, but Ahmed, our brother Ahmed's not married. If you know a good sister, then please, refer him, refer them to Ahmed. He's gonna kill me after this. But if you're married, you know that the queen really rules the kingdom, right? The queen is the one that
Yeah.
rules the kingdom. So let's talk about Ethereum for a little bit. So now the grayscale, now on my screen here, you can sort of see that lull, that little box there. This is also, of course, when Bitcoin moves down, everything else moves down as well. So the grayscale unlock may have affected Ethereum during that same time as well. Although the interesting to note is Ethereum went down to about 1700, which, not financial advice, and anything we say on this show, I think it goes without saying. We need a disclaimer somewhere at some point, Ahmed, but it's not financial advice. But
Yeah.
anytime it goes to that level, I see it personally as a buying opportunity. And the reason is there is a lot of support at that level because it went down to the level where it was just $400 above the peak of the last bull run in 2018. So that's interesting.
Mhm.
So I mean, anyone who's following the market knows, it's dipped, but what you may not have noticed, it was just $400 above the last peak of the market cycle. So that does serve as a very important psychological support factor. Now,
Mhm.
I guess you got to ask yourself, and I think this is something you touched on earlier, or we might have touched on this before the show, Ahmed, is what do you really care about? Like, what token should you invest in? Now, this is a topic itself, but the way I like to think about it is this going to be around in a bear market? Is this
Mm,
token or coin rather, in the case of Ethereum, is a coin. It is a coin. Is it going to be used in the bear market? And the answer is a resounding yes. NFTs by and large are built on this. You've got DeFi, the world of DeFi, it's built on this. In other
yeah.
news, and I'm only sharing this because I'm a huge boxing fan, but they talk about the bubble in NFTs. Forget the wine gets nifty. I'm not sharing this for that reason. You can see the highlight. Tyson Fury nets almost $1 million. So if anyone tries to
Yeah.
get me, you can't get me. But the point I'm trying to make is, just recently, Tyson Fury released his own NFT and it went for almost $1 million. So whether or not it's
Mm,
a fad or not, I'm not interested. I don't really, I've bought a few NFTs, things just out of interest. I know we're doing a whole NFT thing on the Marhaba DeFi platform as well, which will be very, very interesting. But you can't
yeah.
deny the technology that's underpinning and underlying. So this is not something that's going away anywhere. In other news, Reddit, right? So Reddit, man, everyone knows Reddit. Even Reddit is looking into a layer 2 solution aimed at scaling Ethereum based community points. So I'm not going to go too far into this, but Reddit, they're calling it a social media platform. Sure, it announced it would be using scaling solution Arbitrum to handle scaling its Ethereum based community points. So they have a community based point system, and they're
Mhm.
looking at a layer 2 solution that's linked to Ethereum to earn more rewards. So if you're more interested, have a look at that article. Now, the last thing I do want to touch on before I sort of end the market update is just before this rally, one thing I noticed, and maybe call it selective sight, whatever you want. Everywhere I looked, the rich, the uber rich, there were all these articles about the uber rich investing. Goldman Sachs says
Mhm.
rich clients are turning to crypto. This was just, 4 days ago. JP Morgan says a lot of clients see cryptocurrency as an asset class and they want to invest. The founder or the CEO of JP Morgan, he famously years ago said that I will fire anyone who tries to offer Bitcoin
Yeah.
to our investors out of stupidity. Now all of a sudden,
Yeah.
he's changing his tune. Money makes the world go
Yeah.
around, right? So,
Yeah.
these guys are falling in place, and it doesn't end there. 52 billion dollar asset management firm buys Bitcoin after the price dropped. So, again and time again, whilst you were waiting on the sidelines, thinking about buying it, the uber rich, the JP Morgans, these asset management firms were scooping it up, pennies on the dollar, quote unquote, uh, to be able to sort of take it to the next level. So when people are selling, that's when you should be buying, and sort of vice versa. But that, Ahmed, is the market update. Back to you.
Phenomenal. I think that was amazing. It kind of gave me things that I didn't read up about this week either. So thank you for all that information, Moby. Appreciate it. So our segment number three is the question of the week. And this is actually comes from one of our AMA sessions, with some where somebody has asked about Marhaba DeFi brings the first Sharia compliant solution to the world of decentralized finance. But what is Sharia? It is the first time that I see this term with finance. What is it, and how can it benefit a whole general ecosystem? Phenomenal. I think I kind of touched upon this a little bit earlier, but we'll go into the concepts of Sharia for sure. So we can look at Sharia with, well, how our internal scholar has said, Mufti Bilal. He kind of broke it down to Sharia means a way of life. Muslims believe that this way of life has been revealed by God, through His messenger. Sorry, the objectives of Sharia is to protect the religion of an individual, to protect his wealth, his life, his honor, and his sanity. And I think this kind of summarizes it very beautifully. And it really, Sharia is just a form of rules, and how we live through that rule for our own well-being. And that's why this platform was a necessity in the market, because there's so many individuals who are trying to look for a solution that is gonna help them achieve those rules and regulations, and that sanity and those, make wealth through the right methods. Because, for example, one thing in Sharia finance, or Islamic finance is what we like to call it, or a faith-based or ethical finance, globally is what they call it, is that there isn't a form of interest-based earnings. And the reason behind this is you guys can read about the 2008 market crash. You can read about what's happening because of interest with people who are in the lower income standard. It's kind of making that gap between the rich and the poor much bigger. So the rich keep getting richer, the poor keep getting poor. I mean, we hear this all the time, but the thing is, we don't really take actions. And I think it's really an onus on us that we need to live with the process that we don't make that gap even more bigger, and we don't institutionalize it. So I think one of the benefits of Islamic finance, and there's many, we can go into a lot of these things, and we can talk about them in one by one. But one of them is that it helps with this concept of interest-based loans and lending, and the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. In essence, Sharia is just law, and or Islamic law, and Sharia is just guidelines. And so, as the way Mufti Bilal has said, from Sharia experts, it's just a way that we live our life with those guidelines, so we can live to protect through protection of our wealth, our life, our honor, and our sanity. I think that kind of summarizes it well. What do you think, Moby?
Yeah, I think Mufti Bilal is Mufti Umar Bilal. Is that how am I saying
Yeah,
that right? Am I going to get in trouble? No, Mufti Umar
Umarji.
Bilal. Umar Ji, he very
Yeah,
very smart individual, because when you think about it, you break it down from an Islamic jurisprudence. Like you said, it's obviously, and like the Mufti said, it's to protect our religion, our wealth, and our life, right? But obviously, we've spoken about this in many places, and if you research Marhaba DeFi, if you're not already familiar with it, you'll find it is inclusive. It's a Muslim also, it's inclusive for everyone. So from Islamic jurisprudence, obviously for us, it's about protecting ourselves, our wealth, our family. But even from a secular point of view, when you think about it, like a lot of, and this is why, and I don't know about you, Ahmed, but when you notice the Telegram group, you'll notice a lot of non-Muslims, and everyone's welcome.
yeah.
And the reason is from a risk aversion point of view. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't speak on behalf of others. I'd love to hear from the community, see why they were drawn to it. But I would like to think
Hmm.
from a risk avoidance point of view. So
Hmm.
Islamic finance and Sharia talks about the idea of not putting yourself in unnecessary risk. Now, even just today,
Hmm.
I didn't mention it in the market update, but Binance announced that it was suspending fiat currency trading pairs for leveraged accounts. And I noticed that because Australian dollar was one of them, maybe US, I'm not sure. But there's a couple of different currencies where they're not allowing leverage trading anymore. And why is that? Because according to Islamic finance, leverage trading is not allowed because it's unnecessary risk. It is more risk. So, Islam tries to protect you and your finances, as an individual as well. So whether
Yeah.
or not you're interested from the Islamic point of view or just from the financial, I guess, common sense point of view, it sort of works for all. And I couldn't have said it better than the Mufti.
Yeah, and just to add on to the last point you just said there about the risk aversion, and I mean, there's many reasons why people join, right? Some people see this as a great opportunity because it's the first solution that's focusing on a 1.8 plus billion people platform, right? So they're like, oh, and for some people, it's an ethical thing, right? Because we have that filter also, and then for some people, it is a faith thing, and then for some people, it's a risk aversion thing. But just to add on here, if you look at the research on now, I'm gonna go over to stocks a little bit because every stock has a shown solution with Sharia portfolios versus a non Sharia portfolio or a Islamic finance based portfolio versus a conventional portfolio. Uh, the with this with the Islamic finance based portfolio, the securities were a lot, like in the sense of risk aversion, was a lot higher. So people end up making up a lot more money within the time frame than they did with the conventional. And you can also look at the 2008 market crash. The Western ideology-based bank or high interest-based banks had a huge issue. But if you go towards any of the Islamic finance banks, they didn't have a major issue like the Western banks. And you can see that there's actually reports on this, and actually people have written their PhD papers on this, and that's where I learned also. If you guys want, we can also link those in the description. On my personal channel, I actually made an entire video on this, and you guys can check that out also. But yeah, just an add on from there. I think that kind of wraps up the question of the week. Um, Before we do finish this off, Moby, any last finishing off things? Anything that you're buying? Anything that you think our users or our listeners should kind of take knowledge of?
Look, I'm very scared. You know, we're not financial investors. Sorry, we're not financial advisors. But I'm really scared to be sort of slant. And I'll always sort of, you know, if I share anything, it's sort of what I'm doing. So, like I sort of said, for
Yeah,
me, Ethereum is a great store of value. I am definitely an Ethereum maxi. I do trade
mhm,
Bitcoin a little bit, but really, I sort of just I like to monitor it. We know this is the thing. Crypto is funny, right, Ahmed? You got to do almost. You almost have to do, not that it's a rule, but you almost have to do the opposite. You know, like when the market is rallying, like I'm not buying, man. I'm not
yeah,
touching anything. You know,
even yeah,
when the
yeah,
market tanks, like, and I'm not the only one who does this. I know a lot of people do this, but I have maybe 10 or 15 coins or tokens that are on my watch list. And I just sort of
yeah,
have them on my watch list and I just sort of leave them there. And then after a while, you know what's a fair price. And when the
yeah,
market
yeah.
tanks, when everyone is looking to sell, you know, that's when you buy. You know, I think the whole story of meme coins versus this coin versus that coin, we can get into another day. And obviously, this is a community channel. So, guys, ask your questions. We'll do a community question of the week. As the show kicks up more steam, we'll add more and more questions. But obviously, it depends on you guys, what you guys are interested in. Us talking about. But yeah, I think that's all from me. And good episode 1 so far.
Phenomenal. Yeah, for me it's the same thing. I've started relaxing a little bit on the purchasing side, and I'm just on the staking side. I'm slowly merging everything towards my hard wallet and start staking through there. You know, so I can relax now and I don't have to use my brain for like the constant analysis
So
and because
did
I
you buy
mean
anything? Did you buy anything? I didn't ask you. Did you actually buy anything in this pre pump whatever? What are you looking at?
I okay, so I bought all the stuff that I wanted to buy right before, like just right before it had the last dip. So now I'm just enjoying it going back up. I may sell certain of them, which I feel like I'll maybe take a little bit of profit, sell them, and then push them all back into Ethereum, or be in my portfolio personally is a little bit public already or through my channel. So probably Cardano, H bar, and Ethereum. I think I'm going to squeeze them back in there. You know, a lot of people don't like me for this, but Ripple also. I don't really.
Okay.
I'm not really going to
I
stake.
didn't know that about you, man. I didn't know that about you. I don't know if we can do this show again. No, I
Yeah.
will save that. I
So
will save that. I would look if you guys want us to talk about Ripple. Please drop it in the comments, and if you do, even if it's one, I promise we will, because I would love
yeah.
to share my comments about Ripple. But yeah, cool, man. Each to their own, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But, look. I come from a finance background, like a pure finance background. Like that's what my degree is in. And while doing it, I realized that crypto is not going to take over anytime soon. Like right away, not. I think it's gonna another bull market before crypto can really take over, or maybe a little bit later than that.
Mm.
So I know Ripple is one of the companies that's engaging heavily with internationally with banks. So for me, it's not really a passion and technology and crypto thing. It's more like a quick investor perspective. Go in, go out, and I did. I mean, from the last bull run, it was a phenomenal thing for my portfolio. It's probably one of my strongest things that went up. So I similarly sold, bought again when it dipped because I think there's going to be another one of those, and I'm just going to enjoy it. And then after that, I don't know if I'm going to be a Rippler or Ripple believer anymore, but I think I'm just there for more of an investor perspective. But the other tokens, really, honestly, I'm in
For
it
more
for
from a
the
trader
long run.
perspective, you mean? XRP more of a trader versus investor, or you are investor?
Yeah, for so exactly. So Ripple is more like a trader perspective.
Yeah, yeah, got you,
Um,
got you.
and then the others are more like Ethereum. Like I'm an investor. I'm
Mm.
here. Not even. I think there's some form of passion within me for the crypto world that I want to be part of it. I think just having some of it just makes me feel like I'm in there with the rest of the world and with the the smart minded individuals. But cat, that's another conversation. But yeah,
No,
guys, thank you
look,
so much for joining.
sorry. One thing I will notice is like the other thing
Yeah,
too, and we can talk about this is there's a difference between what you're investing and trading in. So that there's two
yeah.
different things there. But no,
Oh yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll let you round out the show, Ahmed.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good topic that we should have for one of the future sessions. and so we'll do trading versus investing. There's a huge difference, and the mindsets around it. But Kat, thank you guys so much for coming. Me and Moby are looking forward to doing this on a weekly basis, and we're looking forward to your comments. If questions you guys have, if there's anything else you guys want us to cover, and if you guys are enjoying this, please you gotta subscribe, like, share, hit the bell notification icon, and share this with all the people that are interested in crypto, but they don't know what's going on. With this weekly thing, if they just watch something like this once a week, they'll get some information and they'll also get an update to what's happening in the market. So, inshallah, we'll try to structure this and into a weekly thing and more exactly as the way you guys want us to do it. But in the meantime, thank you so much for coming. Until then, until next time, take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.